in front of 14,000 of my closest friends, and it's a pleasure to be with Microsoft here at this great conference this week. As IT vendors have been ambitious on delivering waves of new technology over the last few years, we've seen a seismic shift in not only new and innovative products and services and what they expect from it. Experience economy, on where all consumers and businesses want to experience technology in new ways and make business better. We know for sure the first one is that technology has become so much more than PCs, software, and data centers. It has become a digital network of people, things, places, and systems, something we now refer to as the Internet of Everything. We've entered a time where the possibilities of using technology are actually happening quickly. Our personal and professional life, where technology can take us, as well the speed in which it is happening. Innovation and its opportunities mean that you can take all that you've heard this week back to your offices, but you're going to have to be bold. And more importantly, you're going to have to be confident. You're going to have to be confident in your ability to transform. Don't get distracted. Rather, stay very focused on the task at hand. It will become exciting to watch all of you as you take this back to your businesses and help your customers of technology in new and innovative ways. Now everything can be on the internet. We've got the internet of people. We've got the internet of information. We've got the internet of things. And if you can see very closely, you may notice that that's actually a diaper. There's a sensor in that diaper. We have moved to a whole new level of the internet of everything. You no longer need to go. You can just have it tell your smartphone that it's time to change. I didn't make that up. And then you've got the Internet of Places. All around us, sensors are realizing when we're entering and consuming and engaging with people and places in new ways. What this means to you is that you've got to focus on turning, instead of just towards technology, you and your business, but more importantly, what it does for your customer's business. We have to make sure and becomes our North Star on what we do. Because technology has significantly changed, and I think we would all agree that that is in fact the case, and how it's used differently, and what people expect from it, we now have this new set of buyers, which are creating significant disruption in the way in which you need to think about how you take your products and services to market, as well as how you engage with your customers. Different things in your business. It's your job, really your job, to be able to communicate the vision to help your customers. And they're much more informed. They know more about you when they show up to your website. They do their own research. They talk to your customers ahead of time. They reach out to their trusted network. But more importantly, they're overwhelmed by information. By the time that they get to you, they'll say, I know who you are. I know what you're capable of. I know what you're going to charge me. I know how you can help my business. Now, whether they're actually accurate or not is not really the point. What's really understand you better than anything. And because they're more independent, their buyer journey is changing. And so you have to think that you no longer can own that journey of how they find you, how they decide to do business with you, and how you can engage and sell with them. You've got to think about how do you cross this feature-benefit divide. Customers are different, not only in who is buying, but consuming it. Back in 2012, Gartner made a prediction that by officer would spend more on IT than the CIO. We're seeing this prediction being on track as the digitization of business continues to gain momentum. We also see many lines of businesses either driving or participating in IT projects across all phases of the buyer journey. And because of that, we need you to think about how you message to these new customers in different ways. That you can tell the difference between what the business is actually asking, very similar, are different enough, you'll miss the other. When you think about how you will want to transform your business from technology as it was to buyers as they were, as they are today, I want to bring up on stage one of the great partners of Microsoft to share with you his journey, and we'll spend a little bit of time asking him some questions. Come on up on stage, Finn. Thanks, nice to see you.
Great to, yeah.
Yes?
Yeah, it's intimate. You know.
So it's focused on service contracts versus consulting. Yeah. And I know that that is very important to you. And you're very consistent with what we would consider the telco model. That's unique for a partner, for you and your business.
Well, there's no doubt now Microsoft has transformed into a services company. And they do subscription, do both services to put on top, and it's also, well, it's easy because we put all of our services into subscriptions also, and that means that we have we can predict our revenue day by day, month by month, together with the licensing services of Microsoft, and we can really be profitable with that, and we are.
Excellent. Well, you're very willing to take risks, no question. Right? And how does risks kind of manifest itself, and how do you manage those risks in your business? And more importantly, little bets helped you.
Of developing your business, really, and it keeps us lean and it's motivated when we're approaching customers. And we can see that we need to do some learning by burning in this process of transforming together with Microsoft, and that it has helped us. We've learned a lot, and we're still learning.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, partnering with other partners has been key to your success. Partner-to-partner networking has been something this market has talked about for a long time. You may agree. So, with all, which is a great opportunity, what have you... What have you learned in working with other partners that actually helped you service your customers better?
Well, I must say, taking the best of breed from other partners and bringing in together with my own business to customers has really helped us a lot. And looking out here, all the partners here, it's a question of being open, reaching out, taking in the best, and then you'll also succeed at customers. So a lot of partnering.
Have you met any good partners this week?
Oh yes, and I made an agreement yesterday with a very, very, very good partner in a specific area.
So new.
It is.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Finn. Thanks for spending a little time with us. Let's give Finn a hand. Well, it was fantastic to hear from cloud people on how they're harnessing technology as an amazing canvas to which to build new opportunities and, more importantly, growth. Regardless of where you are in your own company's transformation journey, I hope we all can agree that with technology being significantly different, your buyers and their expectations being significantly different, we have to think about sales model. What are the things you need to think about on the kinds of organized, the way you compensate, look at your company? The internal metric-driven sales organization is actually hurting your business. It's fostering the wrong behaviors. In my sessions yesterday, I asked the question, how many of you have pipeline meetings on a weekly basis? How many of you have pipeline meetings on a weekly basis? Everybody should raise their hand. It's the way we manage our business, and we have to think about it a little bit differently now. If the customer is different, the technology is different, how can we possibly keep the same sales model? So you've got to think about building metrics that are broader and more complex, and maybe more comprehensive, to give you transparency into your business, the linear probability to innovate. So what does the selling model look like of the future? This is a great analogy I love to share. We have coffee beans. Coffee beans are 1 to 2 cents a cup. You can have bold coffee, you can have decaffeinated coffee, you can have coffee from Kenya, you can have coffee from my home state of Hawaii, you can have coffee from all over the world. But more importantly, at the end of the day, it's coffee, which in our vernacular, or the outcome. That's buying. But the experience economy is actually manifesting itself in the way you need to sell. What's interesting to me is that no matter that there was free coffee 10 feet away, the line downstairs at the coffee place was 30 deep. Now, why is that? You're buying the experience. So thinking about what is it you're selling. Are you selling a pot of coffee, or are you using an experience? In this experience economy, you have to think about how you actually can sell differently. You can always have the need for the coffee bean in either of those other two scenarios. But you can't have those scenarios if you only sell. So think in terms of the outcome. Think in terms of how the customer is actually going in innovative ways. It will really transform the way you present yourself to the market, as well as the way the market perceives you. You have to read your journey, but your buyer's journey. You can't get there doing what you all your business model. We will be more competitive. You will be more competitive. Microsoft will be more competitive if you can really rally and harness all the things that have been shown to you this week. What worked in the past may not work in the future. You have to be deliberate about your business model. Possibly use that scenario of, am I really going to orient around the coffee beans or the commodity? Am I going to focus on the solution, or am I going to look to the experience? How can you improve the funnel at the top, get more leads down to the bottom, get your sellers being more actionable and prescriptive, will drive profitability into your business and satisfy your customers going forward. Great partner here that we're going to spend with you on her journey. So I'm going to bring up Emily Lynch. Hey, Emily, nice to see you. Thanks for coming. Once again, with 14,000 of my closest friends, this model has been hybrid now. You've reinvested to reinvent, which I think is a great way to position what you've been.
Well, it was where we found ourselves in a position to this model and set ourselves in a stance and decided to commit fully. And so we then really developed a business just as you would any startup business or any new business that you're creating. Create a budget, create the business model, track it, decide where your revenues need to be, and hold your...
When you found you were making this journey, right, those that worked at your company, how did they feel about this journey?
You know, there was excitement about it, and I think the excitement was generated by the fact that there was a plan, and they could see it in execution. There was a budget behind it, and there were people who were solely accountable for it.
Excellent, excellent. So as the VP of marketing,
yes,
right, and sales and marketing, we love each other, right?
Yes.
So as the VP of marketing, how has your market strategy changed? You know, as you think about all the things that I just discussed, right, the selling model, what have you done to really shore up the marketing for the organization?
Our marketing has changed dramatically in the last 8 years, and we have moved very, very strongly toward a digital model. And our marketing has also taken on a much more educational bent. And the reason for that is in transforming to the cloud, we need to, as marketers, create larger funnel for our sales teams. We also need to help that. We need to drive that funnel much more deeply before we transition to sales. And so how we do that in this world where our customers are educating themselves is to market with an understanding of the contact customers, present them with content that is appropriate to their place in the funnel, and move them down that funnel effectively.
Digital marketing, it's sort of a term that's been tossed around a lot.
Yes.
And I think content is important. That's kind of one of those things that I'm not really sure a lot of people really understand. Mm-hmm. So as you think about improving getting better on selling to the right customer with the right technology at the right time, you know, how have you gotten better at tying that all together?
Well, to be honest, it's been a matter of experimentation, and that's you're right. Digital marketing is kind of this term that has a vague understanding about it, and it's intent in systems. But the crux of it is putting brain to the analysis of understanding what is the experience that someone is having with me, or having with our brand and our company through all their experiences in this digital environment, and measuring how they interact with that, and then improving, iterating to improve all the time.
And it's customer satisfaction, or have you learned things? I guess good response to the work you do.
At the end of the day, it almost, as we continue to improve, but we're getting our customers so educated by the time they really enter the fold and they become clients, that the next selling mechanism of bringing on more consumption, more services, more projects is becoming easier because they have such a good base of education.
Excellent. I'm going to ask you to stand up here for a second. Thank you very much. Let's give her a hand. Great information. So now I've got two great partners. If there was something you could leave with this wonderful group of my friends, what would you tell them today? Look out for at the end of this week.
Well, really, that would be used. We've had a tremendous amount of help us in how we develop our business. There are actually a lot of very clever people at Microsoft, I must say.
Excellent. What would you say? As the marketer, what would be your point of recommendation? Because I know a lot of these guys still really struggle with even having a full-time marketer in the business, right? And they're just trying to justify that spend. So what would be your marketing recommendation for them?
As a marketer in the room, I would say on your investigation, you know, and the next day you need to go and improve on it. That would be my recommendation.
Excellent. Well, this has been really great. It's been a pleasure being up here with you guys. Let's give them a hand.
Thank you, Tiffani.
Thank you.
I want to thank you guys to be in front of you. Remember, go out there, be bold, be strong, and sell more. Thank you, guys.